Hi, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about cannabis again. I spoke of cannabis previously on this channel, saying that hemp can make America great again. It's basically an industrial form of cannabis that's used for oil to make paper, things like that. And it was once an industry, specifically in the state of Virginia. Thomas Jefferson grew hemp, apparently. And then also the legalization of medical cannabis and recreational cannabis. I spoke about that in relation to Jeff Sessions saying that things could go either way, that Donald Trump said that the state should decide whether or not to legalize medical and or legal cannabis. And that, that was during the debates, and the fact that now that he's getting his cabinet assembled, including his attorney general, that there is a modification of his position, that he seems to be willing to allow his attorney general to crack down on federal violations of federal law, even in states that have legalized medical and or recreational cannabis. And so this is a concern for those people in the 28, meaning a majority of the United States, that have decided to legalize. And the fact that there are states with um, bills moving through their legislatures right now on whether or not to legalize cannabis in one form or another. And that even if those bills do not go through the legislatures, that it may be on the ballot and the voters will decide whether or not they want to legalize. And the states are deciding, just like Trump said that they should. And so they're keeping their word, but Trump is changing his mind. And so Jeff Sessions basically said, you know what, if you do not want me to enforce these laws, then change the laws. And so people took him up on that offer. And now that there's been bills introduced, it looks like this is from Opposing Views, GOP lawmaker, and federal marijuana prohibition. This is an article from March 2nd. This is Republican Representative Thomas Garrett of Virginia. He's a freshman, meaning a new representative in the Congress. He has introduced legislation that would remove the marijuana industry from federal prosecution under the Controlled Substances Act, leaving the decision of the plant's legality up to the states. And so that bill was introduced on February 27th, and that would remove federal jurisdiction over marijuana and free up state legislatures to determine whether to legalize the plant. And so 28 states have already decided in favor. And Thomas Garrett feels that his state of Virginia is more than capable of deciding its own marijuana or cannabis policy. And so he's also saying that his bill might also be a benefit to the hemp industry, um, to legalize it and create a lucrative line of economic prosperity for the state of Virginia. And so the legislation has actually been co-sponsored by Democratic Representatives Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii and Jared Polis of Colorado, as well as Republican Representative Scott W. Taylor of Virginia. And so two Republican representatives are supporting, supporting the bill. That's Thomas Garrett and then Scott W. Taylor, both of Virginia. And then two Democratic representatives, Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii and Jared Polis of Colorado. And so bipartisan support, and they feel that the chances are good that this will move through Congress. It will be interesting to see, who's going to attempt to kill the bill. Hopefully no one. There's another article, and this is at August Augusta Free Press. Epilepsy Foundation of Virginia supports Garrett bill to decriminalize marijuana. And the fact that people sometimes scoff at the idea of cannabis and cast aspersions on it, like stoners and hippies and weed and pot, when the truth is that children with severe epilepsy that's not treatable with prescription drugs use cannabis. Their parents give them the cannabis to control their seizures, which are life-threatening in children. And so it is a medical issue. The federal DEA does not recognize it as such, but at the state level, it has been recognized by parents of children whose lives are in danger. And they don't necessarily want to provide their children opioids, and then sometimes they're not even effective. And so people involved with the Epilepsy Foundation of Virginia support Garrett's legislation. I'm also going to look at Jesse Ventura, the former Minnesota governor, that he tells Donald Trump to leave marijuana laws alone. So from all angles, Democratic, Republican, and then independent voices are telling Donald Trump, back off. Just back off and mind your business. And so this is Jesse Ventura at Weed News. He's written a book, actually, and so I think that's part of his speaking out lately. He's supporting his book. It's Jesse Ventura's Marijuana Manifesto. And so in it, the former Navy SEAL lays out a call to arms for legalizing cannabis and ending the greater drug war, asking Americans to fight for freedom and to help our economy. And so he just goes and addresses Sean Spicer and Jeff Sessions and Donald Trump, calling them to the carpet for their remarks about medical marijuana or cannabis, saying that they should respect states' rights. And so I'll post links to these articles in the description, maybe some more that I find, and you can see where the views line up and how the tide is changing, and that support for the drug war is falling, that there is bipartisan support for legalizing cannabis and hemp as well, and to have common sense when it comes to medical use of cannabis and the great need that Americans have of having a government that just makes common sense. And so we'll soon see how this plays out. We can watch that bill and see how it progresses through both houses of the Congress. Good luck.